Made in Abyss. It's a fun, cutesy adventure anime that provides wholesome fun for the whole family. Until you reach episode 10. A couple of months back, Taylor and I sat down to watch Made in Abyss, and at the time, I enjoyed it. I remember hearing about how it's a very dark show, and how it gets more and more disturbing the farther the main characters went along their adventure. With all of this allure surrounding Made in Abyss, I ended up dropping it after 3 episodes. It wasn't because it was boring or that the show sucked, I just got busy with life. Go watch the Lane video for insight into that bit of Jump Report lore. Although I dropped the show, it always remained in the back of my head, with questions I needed answers to. What makes this show disturbing? Why are the adults letting the children go through with this plan? How do robots get boner? One day, we ended up receiving a comment on our Beastars video, recommending that I should give Made in Abyss a watch. Seeing this as a sign, I decided to pick up the rest of the show, and see what all the hubbub was about. With this being a oh no. So now, after watching season 1, a movie, and most of season 2 at the time of writing the script, I have to say that Made in Abyss is definitely one of my favorite anime that I've had the chance to view in a while. Its mystery, world building, story mechanics, and deceptively cutesy but also beautiful art style makes Made in Abyss a show worth your time. When watching it, it actually kind of reminded me of how I felt when I played Hollow Knight. I don't know if that's a feeling other people might have had watching Made in Abyss, but let me know in the comments below if that was maybe something that struck out to you. But as implied by the title of this video, I'm not here today to discuss what makes Made in Abyss such a great anime, and I'm also not giving a summary either, so if you haven't seen the show yet, you might want to click off this video and watch someone's summary on it, or actually just go and watch the anime. But rather, this video is supposed to go over 2 villains that made the show so memorable, and why it is one of the best anime that I've seen this year. Also, spoilers ahead for Made in Abyss, just so you know. First, let's take a look at the missing third member of Daft Punk, and the character that inspired me to make this video, the Lord of Dawn, Bondrewd.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
Bondrewd has made his home in the 5th layer of the Abyss. He is a White Whistle cave delver, and considering that White Whistle is the highest rank you can reach, it goes without saying that Bondrewd had to make some considerable contributions to humanity to achieve such recognition. However, just because Bondrewd has made a lot of scientific discoveries and accomplished great things, he's not exactly a good person. Bondrewd is very intelligent, cunning, and remains eerily calm in the face of adversity. Nothing ever seems to faze Bondrewd. A lot of times you'll see characters in anime that give off a very calm and calculating demeanor, but sometimes the mask will slide off and reveal an unhinged and emotional facet that wasn't meant to be seen. Bondrewd never really shows that side of him, which makes him even more threatening. While it might not be much, Bondrewd does possess some emotional capacity, considering he was able to competently raise his daughter, Prushka, on his own and have her turn out to be a good-hearted human. Prushka's adoptive father, on the other hand, lacks any sort of humanity. In the movie Made in Abyss: Dawn of the Deep Soul, we see Bondrewd die multiple times, only to possess a new body moments later. We can assume that this probably isn't the first time Bondrewd has died, and that he's most likely exchanged bodies multiple times. We also occasionally get a glimpse of the man behind the mask, and from the brief reveals we can see of Bondrewd's features, they tend to switch between that of a human and of something you'd see in a David Cronenberg film. Throughout the story, we see Bondrewd carry out multiple horrific and unethical experiments on humans, specifically orphan children, to get a better understanding of the Abyss and its effects on humans. Bondrewd has no issue carrying out these experiments, and what I find to be so compelling and scary about him is the fact that he never perceives what he's doing as wrong. And I think he just goes about what he does without ever questioning himself. What makes Bondrewd such a great villain is the way the story handles him. Near the end of the first season, we get an introduction to his character through Nanashi's flashbacks. Is it Nanachi or Nanashi? I don't think it's Nanashi. When I say Nanashi, I think of like the Shin Megami Tensei 4 Apocalypse protagonist. Nanachi was one of the orphans Bondrewd ran experiments on, and one of the few that still retain her humanity and consciousness. Even though our main characters never meet him directly in the first season, we, the audience, already don't like this guy, and get an idea of how much of a heartless bastard he is. He shows to the viewers that not all cave raiders are good guys, and that good character is not required to be worthy of a white whistle. Although Ozin, the last white whistle we meet, can be apathetic, she still cares for people and the children in her own weird way. Some might argue she's still a bad person, but I think we can all agree she is definitely not on Bondrewd's level. Once he shows up in Dawn of the Deep Soul, we get to see the full extent of his madness as a character, and I think the movie does a good job of making us feel the confliction Nanachi has towards Bondrewd. There are moments where we see Bondrewd show a more human-like side, and usually when he does, we're given a glimpse of a human behind the mask, even though it's not Bondrewd's true body. An example of this is when Bondrewd switches bodies and comforts a crying Prushka, or when he spares the heroes and allows them to continue on their journey. I think this reflects Nanachi's feelings that she has towards Bondrewd because, in some weird, twisted way, he was a father to her. For the most part though, we don't see Bondrewd behind the mask in a human form, which I could see reflecting how Nanachi's overall outlook and how the audience's outlook should be on Bondrewd. That being, bad people can do good things, but are still overall bad people. His relationship with Prushka is a prime example of that. When I first learned Prushka was being raised by Bondrewd, I thought he changed his ways. However, once I got later into the movie, I realized that wasn't actually the case, and for that, I hate him more. One last note I'd like to touch upon with how Made in Abyss handles Bondrewd is that he does not die. Sure, the heroes beat the shit out of him, and he lets them go on their adventure, but at the end of the day, he really hasn't learned anything, and will most likely continue his sickening experiments without any regard for the people he's hurting. Sometimes bad people don't get the punishment they deserve, and that's reflected here with Bondrewd. I think even if he did get the punishment for what he's done, he wouldn't care. The other villain I would like to talk about is a more unconventional one, that being the Abyss itself. It's a villain that embodies the humans versus nature theme, as we see the Abyss constantly throwing obstacle after obstacle at our heroes Reg and Rico. From the very start of the show, it is very clear that the Abyss is a dangerous place to any outsiders, hosting a variety of treacherous biomes, deadly fauna, mysterious relics, and of course, the curses that heighten in severity the deeper you go. What I like about the Abyss in the context of the story is the risk-cost system that's in place. It almost reminds me of a roguelike game. If Rico and Reg intend to reach their goal, they're going to have to descend deeper into unknown territory. If they want to escape and go upwards, then they must pay the price for ascension. It's as if the Abyss is saying, hey, you're not allowed here, but if you want to come in, you're not allowed to leave either. A lot of things in Made in Abyss have a great risk-cost system in place. If Reg wants to fire his arm cannon Mega Man style, he's going to have to face consequences for it, like passing out from exhaustion, along with some more subtle and potentially sinister consequences, like the light pattern on his helmet changing. While we don't know what will happen to Reg once he runs out of shots, we can assume based on the grim nature of the story that it won't be good. But I'm sure we'll get some more insight once Season 3 is out, or whenever the manga covers it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like the video. I'd actually want to do a full video and full review on Season 2 and pretty much everything I've seen up until this point. And you might have noticed I left out some information on Season 2 simply because I'm still watching it. I'm on the last episode, but I would like to have some time to process my thoughts on what has happened so far. Also, what do you guys think is down in the final layer of the Abyss? What I love about this series is that there's so much mystery and so much speculation surrounding the story. So I'm curious to hear some of your theories on the show, and I would like to hear what people have to say about Reg's helmet too. Anyways, subscribe to see more of our videos, and I'll see you in my next video.